What's good, y'all? Geogenesis back for week 3 of The Artist's Way. Um, week 3 was week 3 was a week. Week 3 was a week. I'm not even gonna lie, probably my roughest week as far as actually getting things done goes. Um, Morning pages, I probably got like 5 of 7 done, which was the same as last week, but I just felt a little bit more disconnected from the morning pages. I don't know what the reason for that is. Actually, that's a lie. I do know what the reason is. I just went back to work last week. I told y'all in the first video, I think, that I work as a set dresser in film and TV, and that job is it's a tough job. 10, 12, sometimes longer hours, Monday through Friday. You know, if you're working like offset hours or onset, excuse me, if you're working onset hours, and yeah, turnaround time is not a quick one. So or not a long one. See, I'm off. I just got back from work, so my brain is like is mush right now. But yeah, so went back to work last week, and that really yeah, that kind of put me in a position, a mental position that was not favorable for me. So yeah, the morning page I kind of felt a little disconnected from. Felt kind of just unmotivated from even just doing them. I had days, I did 5 of them, but a couple of those days I contemplated. I really did, thinking, oh, do I want to write them today? And the book tells me, the book tells you all the time. It says, yo, like even if you don't think it's working, and not to say that I didn't think it was working, but even if you don't think it's working, it is working. Um, but yeah, getting through those, it was kind of tough this past week. Took me until the end of the week really to do like a lot of the tasks at the end of the chapters. And honestly, I probably did half of them throughout the week, and then like the last 5 or so for whatever reason, like either with work taking place or what have you, I just kept pushing it back. And it's crazy because the tasks weren't even like really physically demanding tasks. They were really just like writing out things as far as like I would describe like 5 traits from your childhood that you liked, or um, describe 5 things that you like used to do that you enjoyed as a kid. Very childlike energy. The tasks we're trying to bring out, but for whatever reason, I just was just pushing it back. Maybe that's to say I'm still not comfortable with my inner child, and I'm still healing, which that's obvious to me, but maybe that's the deeper reason behind it, but not too sure. But either way, it was actually a really good chapter. Week 3 was a good week as far as like material goes, because one thing that was interesting, they talked about, was using anger as fuel, because a lot of times we think of anger as like a bad thing, but it's really all about how you use that anger. Um, when I was a child, I was a very much a sore loser. I didn't like to lose. It was very competitive. Um, and I'm a Mets, Jets, Knicks fan, so like I've kind of been just accustomed to losing all my life in that sense. So like I have a very underdog mentality when it comes to a lot of things. When it comes to making music, when it comes to being at work, and being one of few black people um, that are actually working on set. I have a very underdog mentality. So anger, not to say I was I was a happy kid, but when it got to that point, that was when the anger and the rage would fuel me in negative ways. But um, it's really important to take whatever anger you feel. This is what I'm realizing. It's important to take whatever anger you feel and realize, or try to understand why you're angry. And most likely, I feel like, at least for me, the reason why I'm angry is because I'm not angry at anyone in particular, so to speak, in most cases. It's really anger with myself, because I know I can be doing better in certain situations. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've had times where I go on social media, and I see, someone post some numbers, or an artist that's, obviously like higher than me, or even, same level, or what have you, post some numbers, and, I feel a certain way, and it's like, man, like I feel like I should be here, I should be doing blah blah blah, and it's like, no. You really gotta sit back and just one, humble yourself, and just understand that if you were supposed to be in that position, you would be. And the reason you're not is because, you know, whatever reason, not putting in enough work, just not, doing your due diligence as far as, mastering the craft and stuff like that. So there's different reasons as to why you might be angry. It might not be a person or a thing in particular. It might be just yourself not, accepting the gravity of your situation. So that was kind of a eye-opening thing for me. I think the most interesting thing that I read in this week was talking about shame, and how shame, obviously, like people see that as like a negative emotion, but same with anger, you have to understand where that shame is coming from. And the book kind of revealed that like shame almost always um, is an effect of your creative child. Things that your creative child always wanted to do, never got the chance to do, was shamed for enjoying, or wanting to do. And that stuff builds and manifests, and becomes what it is as you're an adult, and you want to branch out and try different things. You want to speak a different language. You want to do whatever the case may be. But it's like, if you were ashamed as a kid from doing certain things, and um, you felt the way about it, then it was hard to recover from that, or that kind of shame, that hurt was internalized and never really let go. Just kind of put within your heart, your mind, wherever, and it just festers, and it lingers, and it kind of just sits in the back of your brain, and just molds, or whatever you want to say. But yeah, realizing that the shame is really, and anytime that shame comes out as an adult, you just think, and it's like, oh, like, am I acting like childish in a way? And it's most likely like, yes, like you're acting childish because that's your creative child wanting to express yourself in your fullest capacity, and that hurt and that pain not allowing you to. But just recognizing that is, I feel like, a great first step to conquering that shame, and realizing like, no, like I have full capacity, full authority. I have the right. I deserve to express myself in my fullest way. Um, and yeah, I've just been kind of telling myself this. I That's part of my affirmations. I have an affirmation that basically says like, I, Geogenesis, allow myself to indulge in my full creativity, like no holds barred. And it's honestly been helping me out a lot. Another thing the chapter talked about was synchronicity, and how like if you're paying attention for it, you'll notice a lot of things in life are uh, in I can't even remember the word for it right now, because my computer just freaking closed on me. I got my notes on the screen. Um, but yeah, synchronicity. A lot of things in this life are synced up, and we don't even realize, or maybe we do realize and just don't think anything of it. Like the amount of days where like I'll hear a term or a phrase, like say I'll just say something random, like I don't know, like banana pudding. I don't even eat banana pudding really like that. But just say like banana pudding. Something you barely hear on a daily basis, not anything you think about often, but it's like you might go on later in your day, and somebody else might mention banana pudding and be like, oh, like, it's weird. Like, I don't know, maybe that's a sign you should probably eat some banana pudding, or make some banana pudding. I don't know, try something different. But that's something that I've realized, even today, like at work, or I had a dream. Actually, I had a dream that I was in this church with my girlfriend, surrounded by a bunch of like older white people, and they were very very welcoming, very charming people. But it's kind of like I had a flashback to before that, and I had like my suitcase, I had all these things, and I had my whole church outfit, but the only thing I was missing was my pants. I couldn't find my pants for the life of me. Um, and I'll tell you where the synchronicity comes in. I was on set reading one of the scripts, just trying to, get some knowledge, learn and stuff. And there was one page, and it was the only page in the script that had just one line of dialogue. Um, and I'm trying to remember what that dialogue was. I'm losing my train of thought right now. Um, oh, the dialogue basically was like talking about this author C.G. Jung, who they mentioned in The Artist's Way in week 3, and the author basically said something like, "Oh, like dreams, like essentially like your dreams are realer than you think they are." And that there's like a message behind every dream. Sometimes it's a strong message, sometimes it's something simple, but I feel like the fact that the script mentioned the same author that's in The Artist's Way, in which was mentioned in week 3, that's like synchronicity at its finest. So that was crazy for me. And then another thing in this chapter that it talked about was like your growth not being linear. And some days you'll take one step forward, and next day you might take 2 steps back. But just because you take 2 steps back doesn't mean that 1 step forward didn't amount to something. Because it's all just about how you frame your mind and process things. And if you let negative things um, take over and inhabit your thinking, then you're gonna get consumed by that, and it's just not gonna be good. But because the world is a negative place. Like, let's be real, the world is a negative place. So you're always gonna encounter some type of negativity. But it's the positive moments that make a difference, and the positive moments that, if you stick with them, they will show you a brighter side and a better side of yourself. So yeah, like as far as the book goes too, just this week 3 and me feeling like the first week was I felt so much passion, so much energy, so much excitement just to learn more about myself and just continue this journey. And then week 3 kind of feeling, like I said, unmotivated and just not as excited. But that's okay, because that happens. Life is an ebb and flow. Like, things change all the time. One day is not going to be the same as the next day as it is the next day, and so on and so forth. But one thing I started doing in my morning pages, or at least in my weekly artist check-ins, is like actually writing out like the things that I accomplished throughout the week. And you would be so surprised to see like how much positive things you've actually done throughout your week, even if you don't feel like it, because the negative things might feel like they weigh more within you. But when you actually write down the positive things, and you can see that on paper, and it's important that you see that on a piece of paper and you're writing this stuff out, it really makes a difference. Because I've had people tell me that I've been glowing, I'm smiling more. On set, people say, "Oh, gee, you have such a good energy about you." And on set, it's a lot of depressing looking people on set. I ain't gonna hold you. Well, not depressing looking, just they seem kind of depressed. But like, I don't know. It's just important to understand um, that your energy has meaning, that your energy has purpose, um, and that the positive things that happen to you, each week. Looking back at that can make you feel way better about yourself. But yeah, that was my week 3. So kind of up and down a little bit, but we made it through. I read week 4, so I'm kind of going through that process right now. We're kind of are dealing with work, and I'm not trying to say this is an excuse, but it is what it is. It happened. I'm the present. I'm in the moment. Kind of back me up as far as like getting these videos out the way, and getting through these tasks and stuff like that. But I don't even want to say getting through. That sounds so like, oh, I don't want to do this, but I do. I really do, because it's been helping me. So, and again, if any of y'all are interested in this book, I highly recommend it. If any of y'all have gotten this book, maybe because you've watched one of these videos, I'm so happy for you. I really am. I'm so happy for you, and I would love for you to comment down below and let me know how your journey is going, and just keep continuing to grow and build with me, even if you're watching this like 5 years from now somehow. I hope you're going through this week by week as I am, and learning to love yourself. So, um, yeah, I'm going to shower because I literally just got here and immediately started recording. Because I have to go to bed in like a couple hours, probably less. So, either way, I appreciate y'all for watching so very much, and we gonna chat next week. So, yeah. Peace. Sleeping on the floor and got